If you're going to bleach your hair, I always say you might as well go the full length and slap on some vivid hair color because life is far too short not to have some fun and to go through all of that just to end up with some blonde. This is, however, a wig channel, and the type of fun we have here is the entirely removable kind that doesn't damage your hair one bit. And my client knows how to have fun because she just ordered the most jaw-dropping cunty wig combo that I myself was obsessed with when I was 18, and let me tell you, I absolutely nailed it for her. When creating a custom wig unit, I always try to get an idea of who this is going to and what they're going to use it for. If you're going to ask me for a custom design, my team is going to ask you a series of questions to try to understand what it is you're looking for. For some people, this wig is going to be their daily unit that they're going to wear while they're undergoing medical treatment. Some suffer from alopecia and want something to wear for errands or special events. Others are entirely hair obsessed like myself and thrive on the transformation that we bring them. For others, they're just protective styles where their own hair recovers after breakage or damage. This client, however, didn't give me a rundown of what she was looking for in a wig. She just sent us a link to a previous video of mine and told me my absolute favorite words. I want this exact hair replicated. So that's what I'm creating today. Choosing the right wig base is how I always start my custom orders. Either charcoal black, chestnut brown, or my canvas blonde will be my starting points, after which I will pick out the exact length that the customer wants. 24-inch canvas blonde in 200% density is what we're starting with in this video because I want to finish with an ultra long but still relatively light unit at the end of this process, and this is the best way to start it. Now, if you might have followed my main channel around 2017, you might remember that I was obsessed with a particular color combination that I haven't really seen many people recreate, and I'm honestly not sure why. Because this was one of the most complementary color that you could try if you had relatively light or bleached hair. Deep, cold purple roots blending into an icy silver end. Luckily for me, that is exactly what my client chose for this particular wig. I wanted to tackle the roots first because that is always the most complicated part of any wig transformation. Taking each section slice by slice and applying the concentration of color as close to the lace without ever actually touching it. See, when I was first studying to be a hairstylist, I already had an interest in wigs, but I figured I would be able to transfer my hair knowledge onto wigs, which should have been even easier because they're not even tied to a living being. The problem is that while it takes me 15 minutes to apply root application on an actual person, it takes me 40 minutes to apply a full root on a wig. And the reason is that to make your wig look particularly natural, you cannot apply a high contrast, high pigment color onto the knots that anchor the individual hairs to the chosen lace. If color does end up staining the knot, you will be left with a tiny dot. That immediately gives away that you're wearing a wig. And if you accidentally dye all of the knots, your entire scalp area will look completely dotted, something that does not occur naturally in human hair. If you also happen to be working with HD lace, like me, dye will also end up staining your lace, going from scalp color to neon purple. So with each slice that I'm taking, I'm being very careful to apply the dye a millimeter away from the actual lace to ensure that literally only the root area is stained. The front hairline took me around 30 minutes to apply because I know that this is what my client will be judging the most the very first time that she puts the wig onto her head. My favorite aspect about wigs in general is that the general public most likely know that you are wearing a wig because the hair is so unattainable in real life, but they can't actually figure out where the wig actually starts, which is why I take this extra measure to ensure that the coloring technique paired with the indivisible lace type creates the most seamless wig. All of my wigs are lace front wigs, meaning that the back of the wig is sewn wefts. So I take this part a tiny bit more relaxed and don't fuss as much with color placement simply because it's not going to show. I have a lot of people ask me if you can pull up a wig into a ponytail, and you absolutely can pull up some wigs into a ponytail, just not mine. Lace front wigs are really good if you want to either leave the hair as is or glue down your hairline, and then want to either leave your hair down or else pull it up into a half up or low ponytail look, similar to how I wear them in all of my videos. Once the color is on the wig and has sat for 15 minutes, it is now time to take it over to my basin where I want to finish off the rest of the wig with a custom dye formula as well as some simple logic. I mixed up a really light silver hair dye, the exact same color formula that I use for my vanilla blonde wigs, and after I dip the wig fully into the bath, I take my fingers and gently move the root color from the roots to the ends. effectively staining the rest of the hair with the same color. I accidentally discovered this result after dyeing my own roots vivid purple and then simply rinsing out the dye from my hair with cold water, effectively staining all of my hair. But because there's also a silver mixture in this basin, I am hoping for a very light lavender pastel silver for the ends to get the color that I'm looking for. Once this has sat in the basin for a little while, after a quick shampoo and conditioner, I like to air dry my wigs with some leave-in products in and some oils distributed all over, which then reveals the natural texture of the wig. I honestly love this wave pattern so much that if I didn't have another style in mind, I would absolutely leave it like this. But I'm actually recreating one of my favorite looks for long wings that I've been demanded tutorials from for months now from other wig users who want to recreate it. So if you've purchased a wig from me and want this exact curl pattern, buckle up because I'm about to teach it to you in literally 2 minutes. Step 1 is always heat protectant. I've been testing out this one from K18, and after it's sat on the hair for approximately 4 minutes, I'm taking my hair straightener, putting it on medium heat, and then taking an approximately 1 by 1 inch hair section. I'm going to smooth out the root before clamping the hair between the straightener, giving it a singular twist and angling the straightener nearly entirely vertically down. I'm going to pull it through very quickly. This should leave you with a single ringlet. The next skinny slice right next to it, you're going to repeat the process in, but you're going to do it in the opposite direction. The first wave was away from the face, this one is going to be towards, and so on and so forth, so that each wave right next to each other is alternating in direction from the other one. I like to take long skinny sections as I move up the wig. This creates a more lengthy version of a curl, but always repeating the same movement, smoothing out the root, clamping it in the straightener, fully angling it down, and then pulling it through rather quickly. This effect does look best on longer wigs, but it could still be super cute on a shorter length. At this point, I can start to see the effect of the color come through, the deep rich purple of the root instantly blending with the much softer lavender of the ends, and once again realizing why I love this combination so much. Although we are taking a rather vivid color mixed with an incredibly light color, the end effect really isn't that outlandish. The human mind is naturally accustomed to seeing roots as being darker than the end, so this wig makes sense to us in our mind because we are seeing dark roots on a lighter end. The only difference being that the roots seem to be entirely purple. A quick touch of salt spray to give that beachy effect before trimming off the lace all around my wigs. Depending on which brand you buy from, you might get your wig's lace either pre-trimmed or left entirely intact for you to deal with. Since this is still going to be a process that my clients will have to take, I prefer to pre-trim my wigs both around the hairline and at the ear holes so that this wig is entirely ready to wear. All of my wigs are a size medium, so this will fit most head types and head sizes with the option to loosen or tighten the wig from the back. To give you context, I am a natural size small in the head, so I just tighten the elastic band a bit further before applying it to my own head. And finally, a few weeks of work compiled into a singular video to reveal my favorite wig ever created for a custom order, with dark and violet at the roots, icy lavender, and long at the end. The color combination with this style chosen and the length of the hair makes this wig striking, eye-catching, and entirely confidence-boosting. This wig is already purchased and shipping to the US, but I am half tempted to launch a series with similar root colors if it wasn't for how absolutely long this actually took me to create.